Hello everybody, it's Dumplet here. Welcome to the third episode of Dumplet Tutorials. Today's topic is on Stewart's theorem. Now from the figure, you can already guess that Stewart's theorem is a theorem that concerns lengths in a triangle. Now without further ado, let's dive in with today's session. Now, many people looking up Stewart's theorem, now if that's a given figure, they will reach a conclusion, or they'll find out that this is the formula. AMN plus AD squared equals B squared M plus C squared N. Now, this is not an easy or a very straightforward equation to memorize. Thus, Dumplet here would like to show you a better form of Stewart's theorem. Now, I'm just going to rearrange these four terms, and this will be the result. So you would see that if I rearrange the terms, I would get that MAN plus DAD equals BMB plus CNC. Now, this MAN means M times A times N, and similar for the rest. Now, this is an easier equation to memorize, since we have four English words that can correspond to those: man, dad, bomb, and sink. So we can use a mnemonic: a man and his dad puts a bomb in the sink. So that's how you memorize it. Okay, so step one done. I believe everybody would be able to memorize the formula. Now step two is, how do we set up the triangle such that this will hold true, such that the man and his dad will put a bomb in the sink. So first of all, we must have this set up. So first of all, we need the three sides of the triangle, denoted by A, B, and C here. And we need a 4-line segment now of length D. Now take note that this segment over here of length D is generally called a CVN. Now a CVN is any line segment of a triangle that connects a vertex to any point on the opposite side. Now you might have heard a lot of common CVNs: the altitude, the angle bisector, the median. So these three are actually CVNs, or like a very, very specific case of the CVN. For example, an altitude is from a vertex that is perpendicular to the opposite side. Now the CVN is from a vertex to the midpoint of the opposite side, or something like that. But for the Stewart's theorem, it doesn't have to be any of the three. It doesn't have to be specific. It only concerns that we must have a fourth segment from the vertex to any point on the opposite side. Now, how do we set up the lengths? Very simple. A must be the length that is hit by the CVN, or that is split by the CVN. And it would be splitted into two shorter segments of lengths M and N. And that is how you memorize the first step. The line segment the side with length A would be divided into two segments of M and N. It doesn't really matter which is which. Now here is a crucial point. Now note how B and M are within the same term in the equation because of the bomb mnemonic, and the C and the N are connected, or are in the same term because of the mnemonic sink. Therefore, in the figure, we must set up such that the C and the N do not touch each other, or the segments with lengths C and N do not touch each other. So C is over here, and the N is over here, so they don't touch each other in the figure. Same for B and M. Since they're together in the formula, we separate them in the setup of the triangle. So since M is put to be here, we must put the B here. And that's the reason why I said it didn't matter which is the N and which is the M, because after putting the M and N, we're going to put B and C such that they don't touch each other. So, for example, if this was an N instead and this was the M, then we would know that this would be B instead, and this would be C instead. Since we do not want C and N to meet, and we don't want B and M to meet. Now, for the last length, the CVN, that's always set up to be of length D, because that's the CVN. So let's treat it as a fourth side of the fourth side, or the fourth line segment that is not any of the sides of the triangle. Hence, we use the letter D. All right, so that's how you memorize the Stewart's theorem. Now, let's try to answer an item using this Stewart's theorem. All right, now before that, let's try to recall the formula. I'll give you some time to brainstorm. All right, so let's consider writing the formula down first. So we can use the formula, we can use the mnemonic, or the way we memorize. A man and his dad puts a bomb in the sink. So a man and his dad, so man plus dad. We know that this will be equal to putting bomb in the sink. So BMB plus CNC, and that's how we memorize. Next, how do we set up a triangle? All right, we know that ABC will be the sides of the triangle, and A is the one that is split by the CVN. So we know that this part would have length of A, and I know that this would be length D because it's the CVN. Now I can set up any of these to be M and N. Let's say I'll make this M instead. Then this would have to be N. And lastly, the bomb and the sink are together in the formula. Therefore, when I set up my triangle, the B and the M and the C and the N should not be touching each other. So since M is here, I cannot put the B here, otherwise they're going to meet at this vertex. So this part should be of length C, and this part should be of length B. So that is how you set up the triangle for Stewart's theorem. Now let's go to answer. Let's go to answering the item. All right, credits to the University of Santo Tomas Pythagoras contest for this item. In triangle UST, UT equals 9 and P lies on US such that UP equals SP equals TP equals 5. What is ST? Now since it's a geometry item, let's draw a figure over here. All right. Now we have here that B equals 9. Oh, not B equals 9. We have UT equals 9. We have UT equals 9. P lies on, oh wait, this should be letter P. P lies on US such that UP equals SP equals TP equals 5. What is ST? Now note how in the given figure, as stated in the item, we already have the three sides of a triangle and one CVN. And particularly, this is a very special case since this CVN divides segment SU into two equal parts. So TP is actually a median over here. Nevertheless, we can still use this formula. Now, since SP equals PU, or sorry, UP equals SP equals 5, we know that SU would be 10. And we know that TP is 5 by the given as well. Right, now what is ST? Now, drawing this figure, we can already sense that we must use Stewart's theorem to answer this item. Why? Because practically almost all the lengths are given. And we know that the only thing that is not given is this thing of length C that we are asked in the item, which is the length of ST. So we can now start setting up the triangle and do our substitution in the Stewart's theorem mnemonic. A man and his dad and puts a bomb in the sink. Now we go to setting up, and it's already set up. So let's just start with the explanation. This would be A, since this is the segment US is split at point P. Now M and N, it doesn't really matter which is which, but let's just make M to be the left part and N to be the right part. And lastly, we need the B and the C. Oh, by the way, this is a D because it's not any of the sides. In particular, this is the median or the CVN in this triangle. Now, we need to set up the B and the C such that they don't touch M and N respectively. So the M is here, so we can't, this is not the B. In fact, this is the C since this is an M, so the C will go here and the B will go here. And we're done setting up the triangle. Now all we have to do is to take the man in his stead and put a bomb in the sink. Now, substituting, we have m equals 5, a equals 10, and n equals 5. The d is 5. This is just the a anyway, so it repeats. This is the d, and this is the value of b. This is m, and this is b again. This is c, and this is n, and this is c. So one thing to note that we have 6 variables here in the formula: m, a, n, d, b, and c. Now, it's already obvious enough that if I have 5 of those 6, then I could obviously solve for the other one just by algebra. So in the given item, actually, 5 are given. So there are 5 segments given. So actually 4 in the problem, but technically 5. We have the CVN, or the value of d. We have the b equals 9, the m, and the n. And then the a is just from m plus n anyway. So there we go. So a key thing to note that if there's a lot of lengths given, then chances are Stewart's theorem would be involved, particularly if there's actually a CVN, or the fourth line segment that is somewhere in the triangle that connects a vertex to any point on the opposite side. Nevertheless, let's continue. So after putting our variables, or the values into the man plus dad equals bomb times sink, all we have to do is now solve for c. We would get here that c squared equals 19, and therefore c equals square root of 19. So as simple as that, you can use Stewart's theorem to answer this item. Now, just for formality's sake, let's go back to this item and conclude that the value of c here is the square root of 19. And this will be our final answer. Alright, now I hope you guys learned something new from this video. But before we end, I'd like you guys to have this item from the Philippine Mathematical Olympiad. So let triangle ABC be a right triangle where AB equals 7, BC equals 24, and with hypotenuse AC. Point D is on AC such that AD is to DC equals 2 is to 3. Let m and n be the relatively prime positive integers such that BD squared equals m over n. What is m plus n? Again, m and n being relatively prime positive integers is just a fancy way to say m over n is in lowest terms. So try to use Stewart's theorem to answer this item, and I'll check. Oh, put your answers down in the comment section below, and I'll reply to you guys, or like the comment if you guys got it correct. I'll see you guys in my next Dumplet tutorial. Bye bye.